A lot of Democrats are pretty unhappy about the way this has gone in the Senate, and you're not terribly happy with the way Senator Chuck Schumer has handled things. Now that the bill is coming into your chamber, are you a no vote?
I'm a no vote because I don't believe we can sit idly by while 20 million Americans face astronomical spikes in their health care. We have a moral responsibility to make sure people have food assistance, to make sure they have health care, and we're not meeting that moment.
But Congressman, President Trump has said that he's willing to negotiate on health care. Isn't it better to negotiate with the government reopened, alleviate the stress on our air travel system, get food benefits to Americans, and pay our federal workers?
Well, we could have done all of that. I mean, the president held this country hostage. He refused to release aid, food aid for Americans, which would have cost $9 billion, while he's giving $40 billion to a corrupt libertarian in Argentina. My question for the president is, why aren't you putting Americans first? Why are you withholding aid from American kids and giving money to Argentina instead? We should have been funding the food. We should have been funding our federal workers and paying our troops. And then we could be negotiating on health care to make sure that 20 million people under Donald Trump's watch are not going to have the largest increase in health care since Barack Obama.
We understand that you will have a new colleague in the House as of a couple of hours from now, Congressman, as Adelita Grijalva is at last sworn in, having been elected on September 23rd. This means only a 2-vote margin, if you will, for Speaker Johnson in passing this CR minibus package. It also means you have the vote that you need to bring the Jeffrey Epstein discharge petition to the floor of the House. How quickly do you expect that will happen? And does it need to pass the Senate?
I expect that Adelita Grijalva will sign today. That gives us 218, and early December we will have a vote. But look, the Epstein class in American politics needs to go. These are rich and powerful people who either covered up for Jeffrey Epstein or who themselves abused young girls. And the American people are tired of it. They're tired of one set of rules for rich people who have friends who are politicians and another set of rules for ordinary Americans. So I believe the House will pass this, and it's going to send a message for the full release of the Epstein files and for the Senate to pass it.
I know that you want to bring, obviously, all members to account on this and have them take a vote, which will take place in the House. But to be clear, it does need to pass the upper chamber to force the release of these files, Congressman?
It does, and I believe that the vote margin in the House will matter. If it just ekes through, the Senate may kill it. But if we get 40, 50 Republicans, as I am hearing we may, then it's going to put a lot of pressure on the Senate to act.
We're seeing the Democrats on the House Oversight Committee release their own tranche of, I believe, 20,000 emails today. Could you give us any insight into the timing here? Is this to coincide with your new colleague coming in and momentum behind the discharge petition?
Well, we had subpoenaed the Epstein estate. I had written a letter to the Epstein estate with Mr. Comer, and we had gotten these files. And one of the things we got today were emails where Jeffrey Epstein is talking to Ghislaine Maxwell, saying that Donald Trump is aware that they're underage girls at the Epstein estate. And so it implicates Trump in the Epstein files, and there's much more to be released. But we just need it all out there. We need transparency.
You made clear on Twitter the only reason these emails are out is that at Lawrence has the survivors' lawyers on who gave me the tip to subpoena the estate. You asked, why did Justice or the FBI not get and release these? Do you have an answer?
I don't. I mean, here they were claiming they're doing a thorough investigation. They're going to do everything. And then you have a congressman who's more focused on economic issues than anything on Lawrence O'Donnell, and a lawyer for the survivors basically says, hey, tell the congressman he should write a letter to the estate. They have the documents. And so I write a letter to the estate and get the documents. And you're telling me that the FBI and the Justice Department couldn't do that? Of course they could. They haven't taken this investigation seriously. That's why Congress has gotten involved. We need a full release of the Epstein files.
In the final minute that we have you, Congressman, I know that you have been working on a ban crypto corruption legislation. Now that the House is back in session, can you give an update to us on this? And I'm also curious about the link here to your perch as the ranking member on the Armed Services Committee. What's the national security angle to this legislation?
Well, members of Congress and the president and their families should not be trading cryptocurrencies, and they should not be trading stock. But look, the president's family has made millions of dollars on cryptocurrency. They sold World Liberty as a stable coin, and they have this guy who's gotten now a pardon, a foreign billionaire who's basically accepting payments of World Liberty. This should not be going on. It makes us vulnerable to foreign countries, to foreign interests. And so my bill is simple. No trading of cryptocurrency by any elected official, whether it's in Congress, whether it's the presidency, whether it's the Supreme Court as an appointed person.